It is Andrew Lim inviting you to go out on the limb. So I am in downtown Los Angeles right now. It's been raining here non-stop, but the weather's still pleasant for a January. The weather is in the 60s despite the rainy day, which is better than when you're in New York, which was, I think the weather was in the teens, and Midwest was actually -50 last week. So it's crazy. So I want to talk about cheese tea today. So cheese tea has been a phenomenon in Asia, places like China and Taiwan, but it's slowly generating steam here, but it's not going the pace that some trendsetters would like or tea purveyors would like, mainly because I think the name, I mean, cheese tea, that's like the weirdest combination ever. It's like pickle with peanut butter, or like one of those weird combinations. Anyways, but cheese tea itself has been popular in Asia, as I said, and it started in 2010, where in Taiwan, which is the creator of Boba tea, obviously, they started using powdered cheese with salt, and they added on top of the tea, yeah, which is kind of weird because in Asia, cheese is not that big, and yet, you know, that was actually well received, that concoction. So after that, I think in 2012, a tea chain in China, in Guangzhou, called Hey Tea, actually used actual cream cheese and added with some salt and put it on top of their tea, and that actually generated a lot of business. It became really popular. In fact, I think on average a Hey Tea location would sell about up to 4,000 cups of cheese tea, which is phenomenal, and lines out the door and everything. So here in Los Angeles, I mean, cheese tea has started to actually generated some buzz as well, and I'm heading to a place called Little Fluffy Head. Apparently they specialize in cheese tea. I think the owner consulted for Kirin, which is a Japanese beverage maker, who decided to invest in cheese tea as well. So it's gotten so popular in Asia that beverage manufacturers started paying attention to it and want to package them as well. So we're gonna go check it out, and then I'm gonna bring you back to New York and taste some cheese tea as well. It's, you know, I think it's a little off-putting for Americans when you use the name cheese tea, because cheese and tea are not two things that usually combine.
No, exactly.
I think so, but apparently it's done really well in Asia.
Yeah, it has done really well in Asia. That's what we like.
I think some places call it like milk cap, yeah, milk foam.
Yeah.
Because I think cheese tea just does not sound good. This is my first sip of the cheese tea. Interesting. So the layer on top is actually more milky. It's like a salty, milky base, and you know, infuse that with the sweetness of the tea. So I got black tea. So this is where you stick the straw in if you have boba, and this is where you actually sip the layer of cheese. It's like you first taste the salty cheese, followed by the tea. Interesting. I really like it. It's super unique. Thank you. Now I gotta go back to New York and try another one.
Nice.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
So I am in Flushing right now. Continue to search for my perfect cheese teas. So today we're gonna go to a place called Happy Lemon Cafe. They are a purveyor of cheese tea here in the New York area. I think they actually have more cheese tea selections than the other places like Kung Fu Tea, as well as Gong Cha. So let's check it out. tea version with the salty cheese top. In LA, it was the black tea, but apparently the green tea here is really popular, so we're gonna try that. So guys, I got the cheese tea from Happy Lemon Cafe. So this is the East Coast New York version. I got the green tea instead because this is a popular choice. Actually, when I was at Fluffy Head in Los Angeles, green tea was also one of the popular choices, but I went with the black tea when I was there. So this time I'm gonna try the green tea with the cheese foam on top. So again, this is the cheese foam with a sprinkle of salt. So it's supposed to give you a sweet taste with a savory finish. So let's see if that is the case. The proper way of drinking cheese tea is actually without the straw. You only want the straw if you add bubbles to it. The tapiokas are optional, but without the tapioca, the proper way of drinking the cheese tea is actually sipping it through this hole, because that way you can get the layer of the cheese before you get to the tea. That's the whole purpose of it. So we're gonna drink it the proper way. The thing is, this is actually not normal green tea. This is jasmine green tea, so it's actually refreshing. So even though, I mean, there are some places like Little Fluffy Hat that says that the goal is to give you a sweet tea with a savory finish. The taste profile is you actually get the savory bit first before you get to the sweet and jasmine and the fragrant part. It's unique, it's pretty interesting. I think the taste-wise is the same as that of Los Angeles. It's unique. Really, I think they really should call this the cheesecake foam. I think that's a better name to appeal to the American consumers than just call it the cheese tea, because I think the cheese tea itself, the name itself, is very off-putting. But taste, it's really like biting into a cheesecake. You have the savory, the cheesy taste to it first, followed by the sweetness of the cake. So my advice to anybody who wants to sell this is consider calling it the cheesecake foam in order to sell it to American consumers, because the name cheese tea would not work. I know there are some places like Kung Fu tea, they call it milk tab. It's not exactly a milk, it's actually a cheese foam with, you know, a sprinkle of salt. So I think really the best name for it in America is to call it the cheesecake foam, which I think has the appealing factor to it. So cheers to cheese tea. It's really good. It just needs a more appealing name to the American consumers.